call to order this meeting of the Plain Township Board of Trustees for Tuesday, June 27th. Everybody will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before us, we have our agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections by fellow board members or department heads at this time?
Yes, on administrator number 1, it should say equipment for 4 new sheriff cruisers instead of 3.
Any other at this point? Okay, the agenda will stand as amended. Get a motion to appoint Luther as fiscal officer pro tem, and I will so move.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Just clarification for the record, Mr. Wolf is on vacation with his family, so pre-notified and approved. And at roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. Furthermore, let the record reflect that Trustee John Sabo previously notified the board of a personal family vacation / travel, so that's the reason he is not here this evening. That's why our agenda is a little bit late as well. Sheriff's report. Is there anybody in the audience who has anything for the sheriff's office? We've got Detective Rocco Ross from the Stark County Sheriff's Office.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to let the board know about the recent rash of break-ins we've been having in vehicles to hopefully urge residents to lock their vehicles, don't leave handguns or valuables in their vehicles. We've been making some headway on some leads. No arrests have been made yet, but we have some video, some photographs. Last Friday we put out on the township's Facebook page some photos. I emailed Maryland today with some more photos to update that page. Hopefully we'll get out tomorrow maybe with some new photos. There's a white Ford Explorer or a Ford Escort station wagon, white male, scar on the back of his head is all we have right now. But they're starting to use the credit cards. And
are they breaking windows, or are they looking for unlocked vehicles?
Most of them have been unlocked vehicles. We have a couple reports of broken windows. They would find something they wanted inside the vehicle.
So basically, people should keep anything that looks valuable hidden.
Exactly.
They're looking for it. They see if they're going to grab it. They're trying to.
Yeah. If they want in, they'll get in. But most of the vehicles we have been unlocked vehicles.
Unlocked. And
they're just getting change and whatever they can find in the passenger compartment. They haven't been getting in trunks or anything like that.
Okay.
So if the vehicles are in the garage and the garage is open, they'll go in there. If the garage door opener's in the vehicle, they'll open the garage.
I learned that. I used to keep my vehicle with the keys in it, and I realized, you know what? Now I keep it locked. No, and my genie open and put it in the house. I mean, I know they can grab it. Yeah.
So I was out at 3 this morning. I'll be out at 3 tomorrow morning. It seems like their window is about 3:30 to 6 a.m. So.
Wow. For the sake of the public, anybody sees it, they should notify the sheriff, and they shouldn't try to apprehend.
Absolutely.
Themselves.
Yeah,
and because there are missing firearms from some of these.
We have 7 firearms so far reported missing.
7
firearms?
These guys could be armed and dangerous from the
And we have reports of up to 5, a group of 5 walking around. So we have a couple vehicles, and we have just walking neighborhoods. So there's a group of these people doing this.
Thank you.
So,
You said a white Taurus?
a white Escort station wagon, mid-90s, mid to late 90s model. It's missing the front driver's side hubcap.
Well, tell the guys too, because sometimes we're out between 3 and 6, so they see something big.
And it seems like the credit card activity, they've been using the credit cards at gas stations around Harmont and Mahoney, and they've been using the Huntington Bank ATM at Mahoney and Harrisburg. So it seems like that area is their home turf. But they're exploring the whole county pretty much.
The past deal, and then possibly know how to recruit them and remember.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Thank you.
Is there anybody else for the Sheriff's Office. Okay, that'll conclude the Sheriff's report. We have nothing on our unfinished business. New business, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you. I have Mrs. Laura Weimer-Haas in the audience, and she is going to come forward and address the board.
Hi there. My name is Laura Weimer-Haas of 2940 Cloverhurst Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio. And it's an honor to be here this evening to present this donation to the Plain Township Board of Trustees through Heroes Honored, Inc. on behalf of my husband and myself to the Plain Township Veterans Memorial Project. Scott is the son of an Air Force Vietnam veteran, and me, as the daughter of an Army veteran, we learned at an early age the appreciation for those that serve our country and the sacrifices that they make. Coming from families with a long lineage of distinguished and honorable service to our country, both during peace and war times, my husband and I want to ensure we are part of the long-term efforts to memorialize all of our veterans. Sorry. Who have served honorably to ensure that they are never forgotten here in Plain Township. Specifically, we would like to make a donation in the honor of the following family members. Lieutenant Colonel Arnold W. Bokish, U.S. Army World War II and Korean Wars. Retired Captain William M. Bokish of the U.S. Navy. My dad, Robert Weimer, U.S. Army. Buck Sergeant Michael E. Hawes, U.S. Air Force, Vietnam veteran, Scott's dad. Uncle Jack, John Callahan, U.S. Marine Corps and Korean War. Michael Morgan, U.S. Navy Chief. Louis Nestich, U.S. Marine Corps. Frank Nestich, U.S. Army veteran, killed in action. Denny Nestich, U.S. Air Force. Greg Wade of the National Guard. Les Way, the U.S. Army. Given the service and sacrifice of those who have come before us, and those who will come long after us, that have so honorably chose to serve our country with honor, we are pleased to make this donation in the amount of $2,000 to the Plain Township Veteran Memorial Project. Can I give it to Luther?
Yes.
Thank you.
One more, I know the emotion there, but my grandfather also, Robert Hawes, was an Army World War II vet. One of the notables was Battle of the Bulge. This was something, you know, we all know how special this project is to the township, but it's ultra for me, so that's why we wanted to do this. Okay, that concludes new business. I'm going to take it to the fiscal officer's report and turn it over to Fiscal Officer Pro Tem Luther.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item on the agenda is a request for resolution to authorize the payment of the pending warrants in the amount of $313,309.90.
I will so move.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Okay. The second item on the agenda is Fiscal Office number 2, a request for resolution to authorize the payment of the regular payroll.
I will so move. Ready to pay.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Okay. The third item on the agenda is a request for resolution to authorize the following medical claims as provided by Alt Care.
I will so
I'll
move.
second it.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Okay. The fourth item on the agenda is the investment report for the month of May.
Anybody's got any questions on the stellar interest rates, feel free to see Tom upon his return. Or
But one thing I will note is the First Merit Huntington Bank rates, you notice that they're .01. We're no longer investing in that because that was a sweep account. And that was costing us $50 a month just to invest in the sweeps. And as you can see, we were making less than $50 a month. And so we were losing money by investing in the sweeps, where they sweep it into an investment every night.
Yeah, Tom made that.
Tom made that decision,
That's
yes,
crazy.
Yeah, Tom made the decision to switch us out of that. so.
and
Good move.
divert more, and we're making 10 times the amount just leaving the money in the account without doing the sweep.
Good job.
It's 0.1 as opposed to 0.01.
Yeah.
And so that credits our bank fees.
Wow,
Thank you
nice
for
job.
calling that out, Luther.
Very good.
Okay, then next on the agenda is fiscal office number 5. That's the bank reconciliation for the month of May.
No questions? Okay.
Okay, fiscal office number 6 is a request for resolution to authorize the payment of the boards of zoning appeal and zoning commission for the period of January through June at the rate of $50 per meeting for a total of $1,850.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion. See, it looks like some folks missed a meeting or two based on the dollar payouts.
Yeah, for the most part, looks good. Okay.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Okay, the last thing on the agenda is fiscal office number 7, a request for resolution to the board to authorize the following transfers of funds.
I was so move on fiscal officer 7.
Second discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
That concludes the fiscal office report.
Thank you, Luther. Take us to the administrator, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you. My resolution this evening is to approve and authorize payment to various vendors from this blanket purchase order for equipment purchase for the new sheriff cruisers, which again, there will be 4 in the amount of $100,000 from Fund 09807.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, just to clarify that we typically after the cruisers are ordered, we're at about $20,000 to $25,000 in
Yes.
additionals from radios, cages.
Guns,
Yeah, and so forth.
what else am I missing? The body cameras.
Yeah.
And instead of bringing to you all, and I almost said detective, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sergeant Koenig can jump in. Instead of bringing at each meeting, oh, now we have the resolution for the guns, now we have the resolutions for the radios.
Right.
We're doing like almost a super blanket so we can get it all done together. And these 4 vehicles actually will be equipped with the new Marks radios when the time is to switch over. So we're actually getting a jump start on 4 of the vehicles with that.
Yeah, I mean, Ms. Campbell pretty much addressed it all. It's everything that goes into the cars.
This is
everything.
These are the 3 Explorers and
And
the
the one.
Taurus.
And the one Taurus. And we actually do have the Taurus on site. I think it got delivered a couple weeks
Couple
ago.
weeks ago.
And they're basically, it's just basically a basic, vehicle at this point in time. Striping, lights,
Yeah,
camera
it's all
system,
that.
both gun locks, guns for those locks, laptop computers for each vehicle. Everything that goes into that vehicle is going to be built in, it's called a build out for each specific cruiser.
Yeah, and again, we gave it a high range just, so we didn't have to come back to the board and say, oh, we undershot. But it includes everything to make that
Yes.
cruiser.
When will they all be ready to go? How long after this? Yeah.
The lead time to build them out, I don't know how long it's going to take to get the Taurus ready to go. Obviously, if it gets approved tonight, they'll be able to begin working on it. They run all the electrical, all the cabling for that. It usually takes a couple weeks to get everything in and out and ready to go.
I'm kind of anxious to see how the Taurus works and how the guys
I
make it.
honestly,
Yeah.
I was just sitting here thinking, well, when do we get a test drive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 lights.
Yeah, well, and once it
I
gets
say
built,
ghost lights.
once it gets built out before it gets assigned, no problem bringing it to a meeting once it's all ready to go, and you guys can do a walkthrough on
I'm
it.
curious about the tours, just to see what you guys think of it.
Yeah,
Is
we-
it something we want to look at and buy more of those later?
I believe we have 2 now that are being utilized, and both guys, one's kind of shorter, one's about my size, maybe a little bigger. They both drive it. From what I understand, they both absolutely love it. It's got more room than I think what their thought beforehand. They go out to tour, but once they got in it and got kind of situated with all their gear, and it's actually quite roomy, from what I understand.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. No further discussion, just need a roll call.
Yes. Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Okay, it takes us to fire department, Chief Schallenberg.
Thank you. Item number 1 for the fire department is purchase of fuel. Resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to authorize purchase and payment of gasoline, oil, diesel, fuel, and miscellaneous from McIntosh Oil, not to exceed $20,000.
So moved.
I'll second it. Sorry, we're out of time.
Actually, we'll get your next resolution, and then I'm going to have to adjourn the public hearing, so we'll get you wrapped up. You just need a roll call?
Yes. Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Okay. And your number 2?
Number 2 is a resolution by the Board of Trustees to authorize the purchase and payment of fire hose from Finley Fire Equipment per attached quote not to exceed $4,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to have to, thank you, Chief. We do have to temporarily adjourn from our regular meeting to go to a scheduled public hearing for 6:15. The subject is wireless communication facilities. It's Amendment 569-17. I'm going to turn this over to our zoning director, Mr. Tom Farrar.
Thank you, sir. As you know, the zoning commission approved this text amendment. It came before the board last week to be scheduled for this meeting tonight. And you, the board, will have the opportunity to discuss and vote on that. We are in the midst of an explosion of consumer demand for mobile data. And we are also anticipating the advent of 5G technology in the next few years, which will exacerbate that demand. Because of that demand, we are looking at exponential growth in the area of small cell towers. Previous Federal Communication Commission Chair Tom Wheeler indicated in a 2016 speech that the number of small cell towers deployed nationwide could reach into the millions, plural. And the industry push is to place all of these small cell towers in the public right-of-way. The township currently has no regulations dealing with small cell towers or cell equipment in the right-of-way. So without this regulation in place, we would have little control over the cell tower company's use of our right-of-way. As you can see, the advance in technology demands more connectivity, which means more cell towers. With the understanding that improved wireless infrastructure is both necessary and welcome in this community, this resolution is an attempt to strike a balance between wireless advances and the preservation of our community, and an attempt to allow our township's credible judgment regarding the management and maintenance of our streets and roads.
Any further comments?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, for the sake of the public hearing, is there anybody in the audience here to speak in support of or in opposition to this matter? Ms. Lumber, are you sure you're not here to speak? Well, obviously, there's nobody in the audience here in support or opposition to it. I do know there's been a significant amount of discourse back and forth on this specific subject, from our board's review of this. I think one of the biggest sticking points of this and why this is all the more important to manage, especially at the local level, is one, local control. It's our community, and we're not going to let we don't want to see entities, organizations coming in and bastardizing our general throughways and so forth that are most visible. I do find it a little perplexing, the fact that, you know, the cell phone companies are technically not classified as a public utility per PUCO, unlike electric, gas, and traditional cell phone service. So this really is a huge move from the aspect that now they want to have that right away. And as we all know, especially Joe, when it comes to road project, you know, when it comes to public right of ways with the utilities, I mean, these guys can just run roughshod and really give no notice. Whether we've had the number of calls we have out over by Avondale with Hall of Fame Village, and you know, some of that structure that's being, you know, upgraded, and going, hey, why didn't we get notifications? Well, even we aren't. So this is a means or a medium in order to assure that, you know, we're going to have processes in place to where we're going to have to be notified, so we can control within, you know, reasonable measure.
Yes, sir.
This. So I think that this is definitely one of the most prudent things to do. Do you have any
I
comments?
do. Eric, you must have before I say anything, let me say something. I would, you know, I spoke with Tom today a little bit, and we know that this has been a lot of hard work getting this together. I like it because it's a tool that we have, and I'm hoping, and I will say this on record, that I hope we establish a good working relationship to these entities that will be putting this up in our community. We all know our residents, we know that they're pretty picky, and we have some pretty tough allotments, and I'm hoping that when these go up, with these regulations, and hopefully with good working people, that we can together make this work right, because we know they're gonna go up. And it's just a matter of what they're gonna look like and who's gonna complain, but this is a great tool, a lot of hard work to do this, and hopefully it will, again, the entities that are doing this will respond and look at this and say, let's treat Plain Township right, let's try to work the best that we can for their community, because the last thing we want is, you don't want the headaches, phone calls, people coming in here upset because these ungodly things are going up in the air, because there's going to be a lot of them going up. So I think I just commend the work that's been put into this, and that hopefully it's used as a good tool for us, that it's a good working relationship.
Tom, I mean, I also want to commend the time, energy, and effort you put into it, because I know when we get our legislative updates and so forth, this was something you caught very early on, and, you know, made us aware of. You know, I think we're truly probably one of the leading communities in being able to address this, because we haven't seen or heard really from anybody else, whether it's within Stark County or across the state. So hopefully we've got a good product here where we can be utilized as a benchmark for other communities moving forward. And obviously, if we have to tweak or adjust this moving forward, so be it. But I commend you for the work you guys have done as well. Is there any further discussion on this?
Can I say one thing? First of all, I would like to thank Tom for taking the lead on this. He's made it easier on me and my department to follow through with this, because we will be permitting these cell towers. And also, we talked today, hopefully in some of these areas where needed, we can get that rid of posts to make them blend into existing street lights that are there, and light posts and stuff like that. So that's going to be one of our goals here with this.
Which the language talks to the different type of camouflage.
Yes, it does.
Techniques and so forth. So
I hope it does work, because those look awesome.
Any other comments? Okay, I'm going to make a motion that this is the decision of the Plain Township Board of Trustees as determined at the public hearing held on Tuesday, June 27, 2017, regarding amendment number 569-17, text amendment, applicant Plain Township Board of Trustees, 2600 Easton Street, Northeast, Canton, Ohio, 44721. Request to update the Plain Township zoning resolution to discuss adding wireless communication tower next text to the zoning resolution as it relates to small cell towers in the right-of-way. After consideration of the facts presented, a motion was made by Scott Hawes to recommend approval of amendment number 569-17 and was seconded by
Second it.
Mr. Lino. Plain Township Board of Trustees therefore recommends approval of amendment 569-17. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes, absolutely. I'm proud of us for working so hard on this one.
Okay, that'll conclude our public hearing on wireless communications. We will reconvene our regular meeting where we will pick up with the road department, and we'll turn that over to Mr. Iacino.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, item number 1 is a resolution to participate with Stark County Engineers Cooperative Purchasing Salt Program for 2017-2018 season at $54.87 a ton.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion. Joe, where's this rate fall? I mean, this
Same
is,
exact raise last year. I don't move
that's it.
either way, so.
Historically, we have always went with the county engineers program because through Joe's wisdom and guidance, he kept us away from the state program, which honestly had the trickle down effect, which would have, there's no better way, we would have been screwed, is what it would have been.
Absolutely.
Because the state got theirs in the county and then
Absolutely.
get what was left. And I think in that first year it was an enticer rate, but they ran out, so we couldn't deliver upon it. And then the rates have been significantly higher really since. So through Keith Bennett's office, this is definitely what's in best interest for us. If there's no further discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution to authorize the purchase and delivery of 2 dry wells for the 25th Street Northwest project from Lindsay Creek, has not to exceed $2,896.70.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion. Joe, I know you've done a significant amount of work on this. We've had residents back and forth. Unfortunately, this is a very low-lying area, and it's an older allotment to where subdivision regulations and requirements.
It's in a real low area.
This is essentially going to be our best solution.
Because
right
other
now.
than that, if not, we're looking at a $500,000 storm sewer project that we
would have to secure grant funding and.
So hopefully, I mean, last Friday's rain gave us a good barometer on what's going to happen, and I think this will.
It's gonna work, yeah.
From my experience with you, we've done a couple of these for some other residents. These seem to have worked.
These are
because
10 feet deep.
Yeah, they haven't come back to us, and we fixed that big one up there on the line, remember that one there? And they seem to work, and I think it's a great idea if we put them in.
Well,
Could you
remember,
go deeper if you wanted to? What's the deepest you can go?
I think this is about as deep as that's going to work. There is an existing one over there that's real shallow, and so the ground must be as good for this kind of project, so.
It's awesome. Those are great.
remember Diamond Community Parking Lot? We put a dry well there, remember? I mean, it would be up to your knees
Right.
and almost waist throughout the
Right.
parking lot and how well that worked.
I'm glad they worked with Joe. Good job on those.
No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
And item number 3 is a resolution to contract with Oglesby Construction for the 2017 pavement marking program, not to exceed $25,948.46.
I will so
I'll
move.
second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Thank you.
Zoning, Mr. Carney.
Thank you, sir. First item on the agenda is a resolution to proclaim items A through K as nuisance abatements.
I will so move on zoning 1A through K.
I'll second it.
Discussion. I mean, a number of these are recurring violators,
Yes.
so unfortunately, we've got folks in the community that don't wish to take care of it and would rather pay our less than cheap rates, so. No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
And item number 2 is a resolution to abate and pays on items A through E.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Parks Department is quiet tonight, nothing from the water after. Communications, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you. I have several communications this evening. The first one coming from William and Nancy Kopka, who live on Overhill Drive, to Joe Icino, and it reads, "We want to thank you for taking the time yesterday to meet with us and our neighbors to discuss the Overhill Drive repaving project in front of our residents. We particularly appreciated the opportunity you provided everyone concerning to offer input. While we're on the topic, we also want to add that as long-standing Plain Township residents, we greatly appreciate all of the services your department and personnel provide the township year-round. From early morning snow removal and salting the roads in horrible winter weather, to patching potholes and resurfacing roads in the spring and summertime. We think you are doing an outstanding job. Sincerely, Bill and Nancy Kopka." And then the second letter is also from William and Nancy Kopka, this time to Mr. Lino. "We just want to thank you for taking time yesterday to personally review the Overhill Drive project in front of our property and offering all concerned parties a fair and equal opportunity to air their concerns and provide input. We especially appreciated your impartial and objective approach and genuine consideration for the views of all of the property owners present. Thank you for attending. Sincerely, Bill and Nancy Kopka."
If I could add to that, just that in Scott Halls, you would say this team, and it was team. I don't want to get credit for this, for being there. I did my best to make it work and try to get on both sides, to make it both happy. But Trustee Sable has been on this site also, and Joe, and so I'm not going to just say, oh, well, I was there and I did anything. It was team. Trustee Hall talks about teamwork. This was teamwork on behalf of our other trustees, Trustee Sable, Joe, Paul was there, and we really tried to make this work, and I think we came up with the right decision. So, but that was nice in the city. Thank you.
And then another thank you to Joe Iacino from Tom Iacino. I talked
This all looks like the same letterhead here.
Got a lot of family in town for the 4th, doesn't it?
Yeah, from Tom
I
Flynn.
think this was.
This says revision number 2 down here.
Yeah.
Forgot to change that date.
Joseph, I had called in to report the caving of the storm sewer covers on Holbrook Circle. Thank you so much for making the repair so quickly. The crew did a really nice job. As if that wasn't good enough, Joe, I would also like to commend the crews on another fantastic job keeping the roads clear during this past winter. I can't keep 100 feet of driveway clear. I do not know how you keep the miles and miles of roads clear. Sincere thanks, Tom Flynn on Chelmsford. So, a very nice job. Then we have a thank you to the administrator. Wait, that doesn't happen. Never mind. Joe, I'm going to let you handle the next communication. So.
We received our annual letter from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ken Groves, who's on Hall of Fame staff, usually contacts us about putting no parking signs, temporary no parking signs up on several of the streets over there. As you read this letter, he also wants to include a couple streets in Canton Township, which we've done in the past on behalf of Canton Township. They passed a resolution to put up our signs on a couple streets, which is not a problem. But since the annexation over there, they're still asking for no parking on the streets that they annexed. And I talked to Mr. Groves today. He wasn't even aware that this annexation would happen. So it was, you know how I feel about this, but he also said just take that off and send him a list of those streets, and he's going to have Kansas City with those no parking signs. And also, if you read that, they wanted to add tow-away zone plates, which I told him today, I do not think the board will want us to invest in 100 tow-away zone plates that we put up. That cost for, when you read the paper this past week, what's going to be ours left?
Yeah. Well, I know we've obviously had the conversation with each individually. I'm glad to hear there's at least a revising of what Kent needs to do. Kent's going to find a way to manage, but this is a perfect example. Based on Sunday's paper, there was a feature on the Hall of Fame Village, and trust me, I will say this, as a preface to all my comments. I want to see the project survive, but I also don't want to see it at the sacrifice and price of our Plain Township residents and our tax base. They talk about preferred or key players. You look at the infrastructure around over there, and what looks good, you know, is either state maintained with Fulton, or it's Plain Township maintained. And first impressions send a hell of a message. And let's see how this happens, how it's handled moving forward, how it's going to be maintained. But you can't say, hey, we're not one of your key players in this, when essentially you've eroded a portion of our township to migrate it into the city, and then are as well going to look to place a burden really on our safety services, because we know statistically, and trustee/former chief Saber, and I'm sure Chuck would agree, you know, just based upon number projections, that they can factor a certain percentage of those calls. And our residents had previously passed a levy, which we fully ramped up and staffed for. And that's not to be running calls over into that village project. That's to improve the response to our residents. So, you know, we do everything to maintain a top-notch operation, and then, hey, it keeps getting picked away at, and then we get, and I know this is a little thing, but I've got to tell you, and I'm sure my wife would verify it, sometimes I like just to look to pick a battle. I think honestly, even as small as this is, we have to push back on it, because if we roll on this, when it comes to something bigger,
Absolutely.
oh, well, hey, we can put them in a predicament here. They've said yes, 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 and now they want to look like bad guys. We're not here to be the no guys to stop it.
Exactly.
But we're sure as hell here to create a win-win situation, which can be done, but based upon Sunday's articles in the paper, it seems to indicate that that district over there could expand up to 200 acres, and I forget, it's only 137
Yeah.
right now.
It's broad, right?
So the potential for take, but yet wanting us to still deliver services, this just doesn't say what, you know, I think the only way I could, in good, clear conscience, consider the additional signage is if, okay, do they want to pay for all the costs associated with creating those signs, putting those signs up, and so forth? Because to expect that out of our taxpayers, not happening on my watch, just not.
And your department heads, and I'm sure your residents appreciate that. I know your department heads 100% appreciate that.
I will redo the resolution for the streets that are still ours, and add those couple Canton Township streets, and we'll bring it to you at the next meeting, so we have
That'll still give time.
for them to do them with
And
that.
likewise, you'll be able to notify them as well that,
Yeah, I will notify them.
I mean, literally,
No,
your thoughts as far as
what-
with additional
What you
signage.
just said is
If
well
they want it
said.
bad enough, they can.
And again, this is part of, that would hopefully, that good teamwork together in both entities, then this stuff wouldn't have to be like this, but this burden right now, I'm sorry, it goes on them. Just what Trustee Hall said was well said. We are the key player, we just seem to be missed out on this for some reason. And like Trustee Hall said, if it has to be a battle, then so be it. Again, I'm happy that this is going forward too, but you all know how I felt about it. The tax base is being taken away from us right now, and they expect us to be sitting up, jumping up and down, that we're excited about this project, but they forget they are chomping at our taxpayers, and we're supposed to sit there and go, yay for that, and that's not how we operate, because we represent our township. And so what Trustee Hall said was well said.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. That closes communications. It does bring us to the portion of meeting public speaks. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to address the Board of Trustees? Okay. Nothing. That'll take us to concerns of trustees. Trustee Lino, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
I had just two things. One, we had gotten notification earlier this week, and I want to make sure it's part of the public record. Sean Worsler so kindly contributed to our Veterans Memorial Project towards additional lighting and so forth, $1,000. Worsler Brothers has been an outstanding township-based business, and I mean, this continues to reiterate their commitment to this community, and obviously the mission that we have over there with veterans, you know, is hitting a chord with quite a few people. So I'd like to thank Sean Worsler for that contribution. Second, this is a text thing, thank you, that I actually got from the Avondale Homeowners Association president. And it just simply says, a note of thanks, Scott, for the board's responsiveness to my request for additional sheriff deputy presence in our neighborhood. With the busy thoroughfare cutting through, speed is a constant problem. The deputies have done a great job helping to curb this and make our neighbors feel safer. So again, collective team effort, thanks to our team out at the sheriff's office. I know we get inundated with tons of requests, but want to make sure, no matter how small or how big these messages are, we're passing them along, because it reinforces the good we're doing.
Yeah, very nice.
That was the only other thing I had. That would conclude concerns of trustees. Concerns of the fiscal officer pro tem?
None.
All right. It's going to take us to the approval of the minutes for June 13th, 2017, and I will so move.
And I'll second it.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
We do have a need for executive session, so be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn to executive session. It's 6:41 p.m. from this regular meeting is authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose and consideration of 7A and 7B, which is to consider confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, or to negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, provided that both of the following conditions apply. That's 7A and B. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.